All right, y'all. So a very interesting pattern is starting to emerge. And in times like this, I really want you all to be able to see the things that I'm seeing and the things that I'm looking at. I'm not saying that I'm correct. I'm not saying that I know everything, but I do see certain things and I move in this market based off of the things that I see. Now, personally, I'm still just buying and accumulating, but as you can see, Toshi is getting wrecked and hit on a higher level, which this is what, if you've seen my last video already, this is what we expected. This is literally what we expected. I think that we can go down to around this level down here. So it actually has moved down more since since I made that video. So yeah, this was to be expected. I mean, we saw some cases where it didn't go this low, but yeah, I was thinking of 0.0005. Now anything past that, yeah, that would be kind of, that would be kind of unexpected for me. And I'd probably, I wouldn't know on a technical level what that actually means. So that would be something that I would probably have to grab somebody who knows some TA and talk to them about it and see what's going on from a chart wise. But overall, and I think that would just be interesting for information's sake. Overall, nothing has changed with Toshi's position and nothing has changed whatsoever when it comes down to Toshi. So the fact of the matter is I'm very, very patient and I am just going to keep accumulating. But that being said, I do want some idea of how hard things can fall and things like that, because I want to accumulate at the lowest levels possible. So yeah, and that's really what it comes down to. But let's actually get into the facts, because I'm seeing some things starting to play out. So what I'm noticing is that institutions, the same reason that people in the crypto space have been pissed with Jesse and Coinbase and Base, is because they're taking their time to build out the infrastructure. They're taking their time to make sure everything's perfect. Like, more so than trying to just pump a random meme coin, they're taking the time to double how many people can actually be onboarded through Base. They want it so billions of people can get on through Base. And that's what they've been working on. So they're working on infrastructure. They're working on things like that. Meanwhile, everyone is begging them to, shield a meme coin like CZ. And that's the difference in where we are. You have one man running around with the government trying to get legislation passed. You have another man shilling meme coins. So this is the key in identifying players and identifying what you should be watching, because all those people over there, yay, this new random Binance dog is pumping. All those people are going to be missing out on the big opportunities that's in front of them, because most of them are going to get in towards the top of the hype before it dump. So they're not going to make money there. And then they're going to be waiting for the next thing to pump. They're going to be completely blindsided by what's going on. Meanwhile, Base, it looks like it's going to shit, right? It looks like it's no plan, no strategy, no nothing yet. They're building, putting a bunch of money behind onboarding billions of people, and they're in all the rooms. JP Morgan is partnering with them. Citibank is partnering with them. They're putting all the infrastructure in place for something big to come to Base, and that has not played out yet. These big players actually storming into Base, that has not played out. They're still setting things up. They're setting up the infrastructure before the main event. So, and we see it coming. We know this. So we're in a position right now to, double down, triple down on that vision if you believe in that vision. Like, at the end of the day, you have to do what's best for you. You have to position yourself and move only based on the things that you can see and understand. Me, I see them building a very strong infrastructure, and that's on a Coinbase level. Now, let's look at, because what you're going to be able to see is how what Coinbase is doing is mirroring all the elites. It's mirroring how the banks is moving right now. It's mirroring how everything is like. So that's what we're finna get into. I'm finna show you the real world evidence of how they're moving when it comes down to crypto. So you can see that this is a long game. It's not, people are so used to this being degenerate gambling that they only want short term. But it's big money in this game now. And the game is going to change slightly. They need the best infrastructure in place to be able to handle a mass explosion, so that the money goes the places that they need the money to go for whatever their overall plan is. I'm not an insider. I don't know every single thing they're intending to do. What I do know is they need the markets to go higher to do what they ultimately want to do, which is onboard everyone in the world into crypto. So yeah, that takes time. It takes time, and it causes delays. And yeah, but all the catalysts we have seen, they're still the catalysts. So let's jump into it. President Trump says, I only care about one thing. Will we be number one in crypto? China is getting into it very big. Look at this. So as you can see, setting up infrastructure, because you can just sit here and pump a bunch of random stuff, but the group of people building the infrastructure, you know, that's going to be the powerful side, because you can sit here and just pump some unstable shit all day long. That's how meme coins crash. But then you take something like Toshi, it took a while to build the foundation, to build the relationships, to build the strength that holds Toshi up in comparison to every other project out there. In comparison to, like, most communities, it's just a bunch of people holding, wishing, and hoping to get their money back. Toshi has built relationships and community, and it has built a lot more than anything else has built. Toshi took a long time to build its infrastructure, and look at what's happened with Toshi. It's one of the strongest, you know, meme coins in the space, regardless of market cap. Then you take that same thing down to Coinbase and what they're doing with Base. Base is slowly building, and the support and infrastructure is going to be so strong that when things finally do blow up, it can handle it and it can sustain it. That's the key. Things get so fickle because there's no systems built to actually maintain what happens. So when you create a dog meme coin out of nowhere, it blows up. It has no place to go but to come down because there's no real foundation or no real fundamentals. Toshi was not built like that. Toshi was built with all of the right infrastructure and fundamentals. Then you have Base built with the same thing. Coinbase built with the same thing. Then let's get into the government side of things. As you can see, like, they're planning to go against China and to overtake China.
I only care about one thing. Will we be number one in crypto? Crypto has turned out, and in that sense, I've been right. Crypto's turned out to be a massive industry, if you want to call it that. And I'm very proud to say that we are far and away ahead of China and everybody else. Now, China's getting into it very big right now. If you want...
China's getting into crypto very, very big right now. I mean, and it's only one Bitcoin. It's the same Bitcoin everywhere. So check it out. China getting in right now means that they have to get in, you know, in a way that's going to move up the price. So, well, it's not moving up the price right now. Like, listen, it's a lot of behind the scenes, shaky stuff going on when it comes down to it. But overall, everything that's happening, including these two powerhouses in there, the United States has gotten in and we haven't seen significant jumps. China is getting in and we haven't seen significant jumps. How? So we know that manipulation is happening on some level, but we also know that you can only hold back. You can hold it back for so long. It always explodes. And this is why I think this explosion will be bigger than anything we've ever seen, because this is the magnitude of things happening.
Want to go after people, you're going to kill that industry, and it'll be very bad. Tremendous number of jobs. I campaigned positively on crypto, very openly. I campaigned. Biden campaigned against it. When Biden found out that I was getting like 100% of the crypto vote, which was a lot, he switched totally, and he went in favor of crypto. They went totally in favor. They had many people under indictment. They let them all go. They let them all go. You know that. Many people were under indictment. Biden was a corrupt president. Biden went all in on crypto at the very end because he thought he could get some votes. It didn't work. They voted for me. I want to make crypto great for America. That's the only thing. I don't want to have somebody else have crypto and have China be number one in the world in crypto. Because in crypto, it's a kind of an industry where basically you're going to have number one and you're not going to have a number two. And right now, we're number one by a long shot. I want to keep it that way. The same way we're number one with AI, we're number one with crypto. And I want to keep it that way.
So as you can see, Trump's plan is to keep America number one. This is why the legislation is getting passed at the rates that it is right now. This is why the Coinbase CEO is constantly in Washington handling all this stuff. As you can see, big plays are being made. So you can sit here and be on the side of someone like CZ, and there's nothing wrong with CZ. Shout out CZ. But he sits around, tweets, and blows up random meme coins. Meanwhile, Brian is out here changing the industry and moving the industry forward for everybody. So it's a different type of vibe. So when you understand how Coinbase is moving, how it's moving in alignment with the United States government and their plans, yeah, it's a crazy thing. And look at this. Binance is dumping, BlackRock is dumping, Wintermute is dumping. Over $1.14 billion worth of Bitcoin has been sold in just 4 hours. A new cartel is forming. As you can see, we have a powerhouse. A powerhouse is out here manipulating the market. A powerhouse is out here going crazy. This is showing you that they're starting to unify. And this is great. This is great. The thing is, it's going to come with more pain. It's going to bring more pain. But because we're watching the early stages of this being built, like most of us wasn't there during the stock market being built. We can't identify a lot of stuff that's really happening in the stock market without doing a lot of history research and things like that. What we're watching before our eyes is history being made. We're watching them form these alliances. We're watching them and how they play the game and how they're deciding to move and who's partnering with the United States government. And we're watching all of this get built before our eyes. This is not a history that we got to learn about. This is a present that we can digest and dissect and understand what's happening before our eyes and position in real time so we're not on the wrong side of things. Or you can be out here praying for the next Pepe or poo-poo meme coin to change your life when your life is not going to change. Like, even if you luck up and get one good payday, you did it in a stupid way. When you were in position to actually know something. When you know something, you can replicate the results that you've gotten. So that means you can't just luck up and do it once. You can do it again and again because you know what to look for. When they're saying look left, you know that they're going right. Like, you know how to get ahead. And that's the thing. You have to, this is why it's so important to learn the space. It's very, very important to learn this space because then you start being able to put pieces together and identify things like this. And yeah, this guy always has some game under here. So yeah, let's see what he got to say. Pure manipulation in front of our eyes. They want you to panic and sell your bags. Binance, BlackRock, Wintermute, they play the same game. The goal is simple. Transfer your coins into their hands. The media calls it selling pressure. I call it retail extraction. Every cycle, they build fear before the boom. Macro is screaming bullish. QE is loading. Liquidity is about to flood back into the system. This is the last clean shakeout before liftoff. The biggest bull run in history is already brewing. Buy the dips, hold your position, win the war. And as you can see, there's a few people whose voices of reason who can see what's happening right now. But everybody is capable of seeing it. Like, get your money, get your losses out of your head, and just watch. Look at what's in front of you. Like, you can see this for yourself. But yeah, check it out. Look at what Tom Lee said.
I mean, if I look at everything since October 10th, because that was the biggest liquidation in the history of crypto, like bigger than FTX.
Like a margin call almost.
Yeah, it was like almost a miniature rupture, like a tsunami. We're only a couple weeks from that, so I think the market is consolidating. But if I look at fundamentals, like Ethereum, stablecoin volumes have been exploding, application revenues at all-time highs. So right now, fundamentals are leading price in crypto. So I think eventually we consolidate and then we rally into year end.
Is there 150?
Yeah, I think we can still get to 150, 200 for Bitcoin, and then something like 7,000 for Ethereum. I mean, if I...
Okay, so as you can see, his predictions and his outlook is still bullish as well. So we can see smart money is staying calm still. Check this out. So yeah, this is going to explain why Bitcoin hasn't really exploded yet. So let's get into it. 30-year Wall Street veteran.
Every possible thing to everyone listening that you would want for Bitcoin is happening right now, meaning the government is supporting things. The financial guardrails are shifting. We've got news after news every single day about the financial guardrails becoming more digital economy. It's things that are necessary for the network effects to kick in. All of that has happened. We still see inflows from retail. We still see the banks now opening it up for people to go through. But there's clearly a bunch of whatever it is, OGs, Bitcoin miners out of China, whoever it is, large amounts. Mike Novogratz publicly said it. If you go back to July, there have been billions and billions of dollars of, let's say, original investors supporting Bitcoin, regardless of how you want to term it. So I'm writing a Substack. I think what people should think about is we don't have an IPO for Bitcoin, but this last 4 months to me feels like sourcing the pricing of the IPO, where the original investors are getting out of large chunks. Now, why is there ever an IPO? For monetization. If someone has 9 billion in Bitcoin, I mean, I think they should diversify a little bit. If it was related to China, guess what China has now that they haven't had since 2014, 15? A bull market in stocks. Guess what else people have? Well, they have the chance to invest in AI. AI is a 10-bagger in many cases. You've been able to do it in the public markets. So I think at some point, Bitcoin becomes a boring asset to people who are looking for 3-baggers, 4-baggers, 5-baggers. It becomes a diversification. So I think this is just a distribution of a few massive holders. And the weaknesses I have heard about Bitcoin as I've gotten into it from institutions, it's too volatile. Not too volatile anymore. We've taken the implied volatility and the actual realized volatility down to 30 and below in some cases. So the vols come down. Okay, what's the next thing? Well, it's too concentrated in ownership. I mean, I've gone through the numbers. When you add Satoshi's wallet, you add the other whales, you're talking about a third of it has been owned by not many people. I think like 10,000 is the number I heard. Regardless of what the right answer is, every month the Bitcoin IBIT outstanding shares goes up. It's up again this month, even though the price is down. So I think everyone that's depressed has actually become entitled. I think they think it's a risk asset. Oh, there's another one. This is just a risk asset. Okay, well, it's not going up with the NASDAQ, so that's good. Lower correlation. Well, it's just digital gold. Well, it's not going up with gold. So guess what? In portfolio theory, for everyone who hasn't bought any yet, I think with your stocks, with your gold, with your bonds, now there's every argument to make. It's lower volatility now, lower correlation with the other traditional asset class, diversification from gold. I think this thing is going to move higher. I was wrong about where I thought we'd be at this point. It's still up for the year. I think once this consolidation is done and we're through the IPO process and the fundamentals take over, next year, once we get through clarity and the beginning of tokenization and the stories of Zelle and everything along those lines, I think we're going to have an acceleration.
See, now I don't, listen, I literally just tell y'all what's on my mind and on the fly, but he essentially said a lot of what I said, especially at the end there. I don't know if it was this video or my last one. So go back and watch the last one too, but he literally came to the same conclusions that I'm drawing, the same conclusions that I came to. We're waiting to get through a few things. And obviously someone on this type of platform in finance will not just come out here and say, oh, and they need to be ready to screw America. Like, obviously that's not what's going to be said. It's going to be, it's going to be structured a little bit more professional than that. So, yeah, that being said, listen, look at how the big boys are playing the game. Look at the things that the big boys are seeing right now. He said, because Wall Street moves quietly before they move loudly. Accumulation first, euphoria later. They're still building infrastructure, not headlines. Look at this. Wall Street moves the same way. They build infrastructure, not headlines. When it blows, it'll be too late to position. Patient capital always wins. So this is why Warren Buffett never tried to fight against the system and tried to play the game of the system wants you to play. Look at when you're trading, they're trying to liquidate you and hunt you down the whole time. Like then when you're buying, they're trying to drop it low and low and low and make you fearful of holding it, so you just get out. It's like no matter what you do, you're constantly under attack. So Warren Buffett just dollar cost average and just kept buying and ignored all of that. And look at how that turned out for him. So this is why I model a lot of what I model a lot of my foundation and my core of how I invest after Warren Buffett, because I think that there's a huge lesson in there. Like, because even though I can read a lot into the market, I can't read everything. But I can read the things that matter, spot the things that matter, and the probability of me being positioned in the places that matter is always high. So that's what I'm going for. It's a probability. When I'm not perfect, there's always a risk, but the probability of me being in the right spots is extremely high because I'm going to be looking at things I know everybody else is not going to because they're looking at poo-poo coin. So the game is not very hard at all. The game is not difficult. It's just that it's easy to be distracted. We live in a world of distraction. So yeah, you gotta keep your head about you. But yeah, so that being said, like this is why this is the fundamentals of what's really going on right now. So Toshi is going down. Toshi is falling right now. And this is why, this has to play out. Infrastructure has to be built. So I believe that we are probably going to be down here, you know, moving sideways, maybe going up a little bit, then coming back down. We're going to be doing this for a little bit until the system is closer to being ready to, you know, release to everyone. And that, I believe, is when, you know, that's when I believe the explosions is going to happen in crypto. That's when I believe they're going to flip the switch. Things is going to blow up once the infrastructure is in place, and boom, like this bull run is going to be historic, to say the least. So yeah, man, there we have it. This is what I wanted to show you all, how everyone else is seeing the market, and how you should be looking at it if you are trying to understand the expectation of when we can see some price action and see some movement coming from Toshi. Like this is how the higher ups are thinking about things. So make sure that you are aware of what people are thinking. This is why I say these are the guys we need to be watching. We need to be following, because they have different perspectives, different focuses, but it all can pretty much circle around the same things. We need to hold off a little bit so infrastructure is built a little bit better. So yeah, that being said, be sure to drop that thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and I will catch you all on the next one. Peace out, fam.